God is good. God is good all the time. Yes, sir. In today's Democratic Party, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would be an Oreo. Well, I'm here to tell Tim Scott, since they want to call him Uncle Tim, then welcome to Uncle Merle's world. See, there's somebody in Texas named Gary O'Connor that needs his ass whooped. See, I think the Democrats have some past in their mind that allows them to give out racial slurs, talk down to black people, and basically use them for a vote, like the black leadership delegation out there calling on Biden to do as he promised. But instead of call for O'Connor to resign, they decide to be silent. It's okay since it's a Democrat being racist. It's okay for a liberal. It's okay for a socialist. It's not okay in Merle Rutledge's book. It's only okay for me to give out an ass whooping. And that's the only thing I gotta say about that. See, if you paid attention to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s words and his speeches and his mannerism, nothing different about what Tim Scott said that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has preached. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. preached equality and equal opportunity. The Democrats preach, we tell you what to do. Now, that may be good if you're a Democrat and I understand you and your life has its way with that party. But for a Republican named Merle Rutledge, that ain't gonna fit the bill with me. And honestly, I'll never ever be a socialist. Now, I understand where y'all may be in your feelings. Y'all lost that Texas special election. And you understand that Mega hasn't went nowhere. And that you rigged elections and now you're getting payback. So what? Deal with it. But to be spewing hate and racial slurs and think you have an excuse, maybe you don't understand where I come from. See, when I joined the Republican Party, it was to get away from you sick pieces of shit. And the reason is because you love pedophiles, you love cop killers getting out of jail so they can gloat about what they can do, and basically taking people's guns so these animals could kill us because y'all don't have the heart to do it yourself. But see, we wasn't the ones in fear because we knew what to do when a situation like this occurred. But for you animals in the Democratic Party, and that's what I'm going to say, because you always decide on it's okay for me to be racist today, long as it's towards a black conservative and to Republicans all over this country, because you love the division and you love the hate. We ain't hearing too much about Asian hate crimes anymore. So now it's back to black on Democratic Party crimes going on. And what y'all trying to do is spew that little bit of racism that you still have left in your tank and continue to make it bigger and bigger because it's been fizzling out after people been actually catching on to exactly what y'all been trying to do. See, it's a terrible day in America where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would be hated in the Democratic Party because somebody is trying to live out his dream and make sure all people get along. Be judged by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. And that's exactly what that speech represented. But since it came from a Republican, the NAACP is solid. The SCLC is solid. The Rainbow Coalition is solid. But when somebody decides to speak up, they wanted to make sure it was heard loud and clearly. Oreo, Coon. They might as well have called Tim Scott the N-word. And they probably have in their nice little comfortable box that they are in liberal world. Me, on the other hand, I want to kick that box right over a bridge and make sure you had no room to swim to land, but drown in your bullshit. Tim Scott gave out an excellent speech. It was well prepared and well thought out to end the narrative that continues to grow because the Democrats have planted the seeds. There's nobody better than nobody. But like I said, hard work will show that people will work harder than the next for whatever dream that they want to accomplish. There has been no obstacle in history to stop anybody from overcoming. Adversity builds strong leaders. Handouts is exactly the definition of what makes us weak when we feel that we need somebody to get us over the finish line instead of doing it ourselves. You don't need some party deciding that you fit in where they want you to fit in. You're there to vote. That's exactly what Democrats think of Black and brown America. You're there to vote for us, and we are here to tell you what to do. The Republican Party is saying, vote for us, so you know exactly what freedom means in the time of democratic destruction. They have killed our youth minds with indoctrination and finding ways to belittle and demean people because of the color of their skin, that they are privileged, that they are the enemy. You don't know what they've been through, and that's exactly what you call bias, prejudice, hate, and basically the same type of actions that you are claiming of discrimination. You are exactly the reverse of that type of discrimination. It's hard to measure heart and soul by a political party, because heart and soul is not measured in that way. Heart and soul is measured where you stand up for right, even though it may be uncomfortable to others. And exactly what Tim Scott said was uncomfortable to Democrats that are soaked up in racist ideology. See, when I walk in the room, I don't know what I'm going to see when I walk through those doors. All I know is that I have to prove myself that I am the best, no matter where I go. There's no special exception. There's no kind of privilege or entitlement. It is either you can or you can't. That's exactly the Republican way. And it's not supposed to be easy. You just don't walk in. That's because we don't want another Democratic jackass in our party that thinks it's okay to call anybody a Oreo, anybody a Coon, or anybody out there other than their name. See, we're sick of it from all communities. Exactly the only time frame Democrats need us is when they find it convenient for themselves and their lobbyists and their Port Farrell projects and their thirst for power at the American people's expense. God warned us about these stupid animals, that they will be a sheep in wolf clothing. To me, they are pieces of shit that needs to be flushed down the toilet. Pelosi and the rest of these devil worshippers encouraged all of this crap. Y'all should have thought when they said exactly, I don't think y'all know how to vote. Isn't that exactly what they did in the 50s and the 60s to keep people from voting at the polls? By saying basically, I don't think ahead of time you had the intelligence to know how to vote or decide your future. They don't want to talk about that because, like I said, it makes them uncomfortable because they're overly sensitive. That's why we have censorship here in America, where they're trying to take your voice to speak out against them or anyone else. What part of America has forgot about exactly the Nazi Germany that Hitler created? And they want to bring it here to America. If you say the wrong thing, then we are going to silence you. I tried to say the wrong thing each and every time frame because I know it's right, it's far right, and it pisses Democrats off. See, I want the problems that other people don't want. I'm used to it. And I tell you, I love the challenge. It makes my blood boil. It puts that fire back in the belly. And it reminds me not to get too comfortable, even in a time of controversy and crisis, because America depends on leadership. More of my GOP colleagues should have spoke out about this bullshit. Here in Virginia, here all across America, and you will have your day. Because at this time period, they are not fighting white America or black America. Being an American is the enemy to the Democratic Party, no matter who you are. If you fly an American flag, if you love your friends and family and neighbors, and you want to be inclusive, Democrats want you to be exclusive. Where do you think social distancing came from? That was the most systematic racism created ever in this country, was for us to be away from each other and not have the important conversations that builds bridges, not burns them down. I can never be silent to crap like this. Because, see, if I'm okay with a Democrat spewing racist language, then I shouldn't have a problem with Republicans doing the same thing. It's a time period where you say enough is enough, because both parties' establishments are pieces of shit. And I tell them that every single day I can. Because right now, patriots are worried about their children's future because they lived their life. They want to make sure that their kids can have a brighter future, not this mess that Democrats created with this hoax. People have lost everything, people. You think they're looking at their race as a way to get out of their pandemic that was created by the Democrats? They're looking after their family, red, white, or blue, and they're looking after their loved ones, and they're trying to tell them each and every day that it's going to be okay. We are going to get past this, while Sleepy Joe can't even decide on what day it is in the week. You have to think about this, people. CNN, MSNBC, and all of them encouraging Biden to be president of the United States of America and kissing his ass, covering up any kind of negative story about this animal and this jackal of a damn administration, raising taxes, cutting jobs, spending money that we don't even know exists, and putting all that burden on each and every single American every single day. And don't think it's the top, the upper class that's being kicked in the ass right now. It's you. When you go to a gas station, when you go to a grocery store, when you go to buy lumber, that's you, no matter what tax bracket you are in. You are paying more. You are paying the price. While those stupid, stinking liberals up there in the U.S. Congress have wine and cheese festivals off of your taxpayer dollars. And they fine with it. They racking up all the money that they can get, lining their pockets, showing BLM Marxist leader that she was right. We are here to take care of us and our family when buying 4 houses for millions of dollars. That's exactly what these politicians do. And we are wondering why America is in this situation. So, when people talk about Tim Scott being the Oreo, then ask yourself of the modern day Democratic Party, what are they? And exactly why I called it racist. And those pieces of shit deserve every ass kicking that they can get and that we can muster. And I'm not talking about just Republicans, because we all been used. We all been used to fight their war. The only way we're going to get peace in this country and get our country back, we are going to have to fight for it. And that means by any means necessary. And I wonder who said that. God bless you. God bless America. And to Tim Scott, oh hell yeah.